Ready for some hidden knowledge? We're diving into Aleister Crowley's Book of Thoth today, his vision of the tarot. Really unique
Yeah,
stuff.
we're going past all those crazy stories about Crowley, right? To see how he saw the tarot, not just fortune telling, but like the universe's principles
Yeah.
reflected in these cards.
He believed all that symbolism, right, could unlock something deeper. We're using those excerpts you shared straight from the Book of Thoth. It's about how he made the Thoth tarot deck. So was he making this whole new thing, or was it based on the traditional tarot?
He sticks to the traditional structure, surprisingly. 78 cards. You've got your major arcana, minor arcana, the four suits. It's all there. But then he mixes in his own ideas. A lot of it comes from the Kabbalah.
Right, the Kabbalah. Some of us haven't really explored that. What's the basic idea?
Think of it like a mystical map. It shows how everything's connected. At the center, you have the tree of life. It's symbolic, of course, like imagine a family tree, but each person is a part of existence itself. Crowley thought each tarot card fits on a path on this tree. So you get this web of meanings all linked together. And it gets even more complex because he brings in numerology and the Hebrew alphabets, like layers on top of layers of meaning.
So the cards placed on the Tree of Life, its number, a Hebrew letter, they all matter. That's amazing. And kind of overwhelming, honestly. Can you walk me through an example? How do these pieces fit together?
Sure. Let's use the number 7 and how it connects to the Chariot card. Traditionally, that card's about willpower, right? Overcoming obstacles. Crowley goes deeper, though. He links it to the 7th path on the Tree of Life, which is about victory, assertion. He saw 7 as mastering those opposite forces, finding balance when things are chaotic.
So the Chariot, it's usually a powerful figure charging ahead, but now it's more than that. It's not just raw strength, but this balancing act between opposing energies. I'm starting to see how we wove this all together.
And that's one example. Out of 78 cards, Crowley goes this deep with every single one. Mythology, astrology, even obscure math ideas. He uses them all to bring out those deeper meanings in the tarot.
Okay, but with 78 cards, where do you even start? It's a lot to take in.
Crowley gives us some clues. He focuses a lot on the major arcana, those 22 trump cards. He saw those as the big stages in our spiritual growth.
Like a journey.
Yeah, exactly. And journeys need a beginning and end, right? For Crowley, the Fool card, card 0, that's where it starts.
The Fool, the one who's about to walk off a cliff. Doesn't sound like the best way to start.
But that's the thing, Crowley didn't think the Fool was being stupid. It's more like pure potential. No baggage from the world, open to anything. That leap into the unknown, you need that sometimes. To start any journey, but especially a spiritual one.
Wow, that's a powerful way to see it. It's not about being foolish, it's about embracing the unknown. So if that's the start, what does Crowley say is the end of this journey?
He ends the major arcana with the universe. Card 21. That card is like reaching your full potential. Wholeness. Completion.
So it goes from 0 to the universe, huh? Pure potential to total fulfillment. It's like he's saying we all have this incredible journey inside of us.
You got it.
We have to mention, though, some people disagreed with Crowley's ideas. Like when he changed the order of the cards, even tarot scholars debated that.
Yeah, he wasn't afraid to stir things up. His interpretations, especially when he moved cards around like strength and justice, not everyone liked that.
Changing the order of the cards, why would he do that?
Crowley thought those changes, moving the cards around, made the symbolism even deeper. He tied it all back to the Kabbalah.
Of course he did.
He even said some of his ideas, they came from, well, supernatural sources.
It wouldn't be Crowley without a little something like that. But you're right, that whole reordering thing, people still argue about that today.
Exactly. And that's kind of cool, right? Almost 100 years later, we're still talking about it. Shows you how powerful the tarot is. Still mysterious. And here's the thing. Crowley wouldn't want us to just, blindly follow his lead.
He practically dares us to argue with him in this book.
Exactly. He wants us to really get into it. The tarot, I mean. Find our own meaning in what he put together.
Gotta respect that, at least. Even when he's being out there, he wants us to use our brains. So, how'd Crowley come to this whole understanding of the tarot anyway? Was it like a sudden flash of insight or some big ritual to connect with those, what do you call them, secret chiefs?
Crowley was a lot of things, but boring wasn't one of them. He talked about this one experience back in 1904. Years he'd spent learning all kinds of magic. And then he claimed this being, was, contacted him directly.
That's where the Book of the Law comes in, right?
Yep, that's the one.
I've heard of it, but...
So this Awas supposedly dictated a whole book to Crowley, the Book of the Law. It became like the base of his whole philosophy. And yeah, it influenced his tarot a lot too. That famous line, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." It's from there.
People get that line wrong all the time.
All the time. For Crowley, it wasn't about just doing whatever you want. It was about figuring out your true will, which he thought was the same as the divine will.
Okay, that makes way more sense. But even with that idea, I mean, how do you go from a mystical experience to the tarot? It's a big leap.
That's where Crowley's brain really shines. He wasn't just making stuff up, slapping new meanings onto cards. He was analyzing every symbol. Then he'd bring in the Kabbalah, astrology, numbers. He created a system, but it was still rooted in the tarot's traditions.
So it's like he was reverse engineering the universe, taking the cards as, I don't know, pieces of existence, trying to make them all fit.
That's a great way to put it. It's that connection between everything. That's what makes Crowley's Thoth tarot so interesting. He saw these universal rules everywhere. Myths, math, even just like how things exist.
You lost me at math. But I get what you're saying about these patterns. It's like what we were saying before, the Fool and the Universe cards at the start and end of the major arcana.
Absolutely.
So you start as nothing, basically, potential, like the Fool stepping off. And you go through all these challenges, victories, whatever the other major arcana cards represent. And at the end, you reach that full understanding, the universe. Am I getting that right?
Spot on.
That's a lot for a deck of cards to hold. But was Crowley serious about all of this, or was it some intellectual game to him?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? He was great at getting attention. And the line between, like, his act and his real beliefs, it got blurry.
Yeah.
But even with all that theatricality, he was thinking about the big stuff.
So maybe he didn't just want to shock people. Maybe he really was searching for something.
Exactly. And even if we don't follow his whole, magical path, you have to admit, he really thought about this stuff.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot. Crowley's life, the tarot, the Book of the Law, the Kabbalah. It's almost like taking a crash course in Crowley. Where do we even go from here? Should we be learning ancient Hebrew now?
Crowley wouldn't want that. Just memorizing stuff. No way. He'd want us to get our hands dirty, figure out what it means to us.
He loved a good puzzle. Give us a hint, though. What's the main takeaway here?
The big thing is, the tarot, especially how Crowley saw it, it's not really about telling the future.
So not what's going to happen to me, more like, what can I learn from this?
Exactly. It's a tool for looking inward, to help you see things clearly when life gets messy. Crowley thought of the tarot as this mirror. It shows you the universe, but also yourself.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Ooh, I like that. Every card, it's like a chance to think, what does this mean to me? What's it saying about my life right now?
Yes. And don't be afraid to disagree with Crowley. Look at other decks. Read different authors. Find what speaks to you.
It's about finding your way through it all. What those cards mean to you.
Exactly. The Thoth tarot, any powerful symbols. They're just tools. It's all about how you use them.
Funny. For someone who seemed to have so many answers, Crowley sure did love a good mystery.
He liked to keep us guessing.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun, right? It makes you wonder and want to learn more.
It really is. We got a peek inside the mind of, well, one of the most mysterious people in modern magic.
Right.
But more than that, it makes you think about the tarot differently. Not just following someone else's rules, but finding what it means to you.
It's a journey for sure.
Exactly. And on that note, gotta say, thanks for being our guide today. This was dense.
Hey, my pleasure. Crowley's a trick, what can I say?
That's one word for it. But to everyone listening, thanks for diving into the Book of Thoth with us. Keep exploring those cards, see what you find. Until next time.